Now we're going to talk about these Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls consist of roughly 1,000 documents, including texts from the Hebrew Bible, discovered between 1947 and 1979 in 11 caves in and around the Wadi Qumran, near the ruins of the ancient settlement of Kerbet, Qumran, on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea in the West Bank. Okay, this is where they found these books at, and they're old books. So these aren't books that Alexander or Constantine pushed down and trying to put down as truth. These are books that were found in the caves, and so now, and so when it talks about, hey, these children of the Watchers were white as snow, of course, this ain't nothing that they want to put in there, and you have to understand this one thing. They're letting this information out now, so that should let you know that the time on Earth for you running around free is very, very limited. They plan on putting you asunder. Right now, you know the truth of who they are, and many European Gentiles, you may read this, you may say, please, I want Yahweh to save me, and I'm like saying, what I would say to you, my dear friend, that Yahweh does want to save you. It doesn't matter that you may be a children, that you're offspring of the Watchers. This is the one thing the Scripture says: Hebrew or Gentile alike, salvation is for you, which we're going to get into. So you're not called to be a preacher. You ain't called to stand for Yahweh, but salvation certainly can be yours. And that's what we're going to get into very much more deeply into this presentation. And when you look at the text here, this has been on the screen long enough for you guys, so hopefully you read it for yourself. But one of the things I want to give you is I want to show you just what the original writing was on, which is to let you see that it was written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and some of it was in Greek. You mean, it's written in Greek. Oh, look, right now I'm writing this in English. Don't mean I'm a white man. It means I'm in captivity in America. And so when you see that the Hebrew Israelites, you see they wrote some in Hebrew, some in Aramaic, and some in Greek. You have to remember they wrote some in their original tongue. Then when they were in captivity, and with those three with Babylon, Persia, and Assyria, that's what they spoke. Those nations that they were under captivity with, they spoke Aramaic. So what do you speak? You speak the language of the master. We were under captivity in those lands, so we speak Aramaic. Then the white boys took us over, and then the Greeks. What did we speak? We spoke Greek. So that's what happened. What do we speak now? We speak poor English, or Ebonics, as they want to say. But we speak the language of our oppressor. So there's nothing new there. But one thing I want to keep in mind here, let you see here, that once they came in, and once the so-called Jews and the European Gentiles found out about these Dead Sea Scrolls, what's the first thing you think they did? They gathered them up and then they sold them on Wall Street. Yes, they did. Sold them on Wall Street, and then years later they passed out to the people, and that's where they took all the names out. They took Yahweh's name out of it, put in Lord and God and all that kind of stuff. Same thing they do with the King James Bible and all the other Bibles. This is a piece of the parchment of the Book of Enoch, and when you read in here, in Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek, you won't see the word God used, or you see the word Lord, Lord. All that is that word Lord is strictly from when the Bible is translated over from Greek to Latin, from Greek to German, then later on to English. That was a king's language, and so to show hierarchy or majesty, they use the word Lord, and that's why many of you say Lord today. This is not a biblical term. That's King James and those boys. They use that term, and now we use it like it's something holy. But if you don't know any better, how do you know? So you know now. So we talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls were sold, and we can see here the biblical manuscripts dating back to at least 200 BC, over 2,000 years ago. And this is why these folks are mad about the Book of Enoch, because it identifies them and it tells us who were the children of the fallen ones. And then we see here that then they put it for sale, and then this is just the advertisement that was put out in the New York newspapers. Now let's look at the sale of this manuscript was on July 1st at some delicate negotiations. The scrolls accompanied by the Metropolitan and two others came to the Waldorf Astoria. You need money to go there, brother. I can tell you that right now. But went to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York, purchased for $250,000. Only some of them, which was Morris Samuel, actually got due to mix up. And this Morris Samuel is a Jew, and he was responsible, or his group was responsible for this. And so now we look and see that this is where we're at. That now the word of Yahweh is being sold, and we see the U.S. government got most of this money through taxes. Now let's look at the question. Was the book of Genesis correct? Now that's a question we all should ask. Was the book of Genesis correct? Because the book of Genesis tells us in the 6th chapter that there were giants on the earth during the days of Noah. Now, when we go to the Natural Museum of Science in Philadelphia and New York, or we go to different museums in England and other parts of Europe, we will see that they have found big, gigantic dinosaurs, which is evidence that there were giants on the earth during their days. But what we want to believe, that those giants were just the animals. It wasn't humans. And so anytime we find big old bodies buried in the caves of the desert, about 14, 15, 16, 20 feet tall, we just excuse it. Or we say, oh, that must be digitized. Because we want to believe what the oppressor has told us. And guess what? They live on the top of the pyramid. Look at the pyramid. The pyramid is large at the bottom because that's where most folks are, and they keep the knowledge away from them. But the knowledge is always at the top. That's why on your dollar bill, look at the back of it. It has an eye on it, and on top of the eye is the peak of the pyramid. You see the all-seeing eye, which is the illuminated ones. Illuminated means they have knowledge. They have knowledge that they don't pass on to you. And so this is why we are, still ignorant. Sad to say, all ignorant means is lacking knowledge. And so, not to be offensive, but just to try to break this down, truth to you, brothers and sisters. And so, through discovery, history, scriptural evidence, and hidden truth, the revelation has been unsealed. And this is why we want to give all praise to Yahweh Shua. For now we see the truth, that there were giants on the earth, and the children of the watchers, and the daughters of men. This unholy union brought forth the great flood and the call of Noah.